class is now open. I'm going to make a repair on this main drip irrigation pipe, and I'm going to install a coupler. And you can get these for 1/2 inch drip irrigation pipe, 5/8 and 3/4. That's what this thing is. It's a compression one, and it fits on there nice and tight, and you don't have to glue it on or anything. And that's what I'm going to install down there. If you want to watch that, stick around. Now the funny thing on this pipe, there used to be a leak right there. I dug it all up. I checked everything out. I installed one of these couplers from before on a different video, and I tapped into that 1/4 inch tubing that went up there to the bush, and I replaced the bubbler and all that kind of stuff, and I thought I was all done. I turned the water back on as a cursory just to make sure that the 1/4 inch tubing line wasn't leaking, or my coupling wasn't leaking, and the tubing line was just barely dripping because it's an old one. It's 25 years old almost. The coupling was bone dry. I thought it was done, so I shut the sprinklers back off. I covered everything up, and lo and behold, the next day I looked out here and it was wet again. I thought, what is going on? I thought for sure the coupling was holding. I thought it's got to be that old drip bubbler line. I dug it up, ran the water, turned the sprinklers back on, and son of a gun, there was water pouring out underneath the dirt over there coming this way. So I knew there was another leak, and had I have ran the water a little bit longer after I did that repair, I would have seen more water dripping in. I could have waited 3 or 4 minutes, but I only checked it out for less than a minute. You see what I mean? So now I dug this all back up. I even dug this line out further to make sure that I got this, and I pinpointed where it is, and now I'm ready to fix it again. Now where that hole is, there used to be another bubbler that went up, and it got cut off, and it snapped off right at the base, right at the top of that line. There's a little coupling piece in there. When I cut out that pipe, I'll show you it here in a minute, okay? And you might learn something when you watch this video, so stick around. Okay, let's do it. Hopefully I don't get in your way. I've got to get down here and do this in such a way to where you can still see what I'm doing, right? So let me first cut this out. And the coupler, this coupler is designed, once it goes in there, I only have to cut out, 3/8, 1/2 inch or so of this pipe, and that's it. So I'm going to cut where I know that little piece is, and I'm just using my sheet metal snips, and I've got it shut off. Now I'm going to cut that about 1/2 inch or 3/4 or 5/8, and I'll show you this little piece. Okay. I'll show you why I couldn't just shove in my little tool. You see there? That's the snapped off little coupler. That's in there. Let's see if I can't get it out of there. Had I pushed this in, then this little piece would be floating around forevermore inside the water line. Let's see there? That little piece. Right there. That would be floating around in the line, and then it could jam up inside another 1/4 inch tubing somewhere else down the road. You see what I mean? And plug it up. So that's why I just couldn't poke that in and put a cap in it or a new coupling if I wanted to reuse that line. I've determined I don't need to use that again. And so let's just see. I think, see, I only got half an inch there. I'm gonna. That's probably okay. But I'm gonna cut off. I'm gonna cut off just a little more. I guess I don't really have to. It's going to be hard to cut off just a little bit, but see, I got enough gap there. That's fine. That's fine. I just have to push this on further. Okay. And I'm going to hold this coupling right in the middle of that, eyeball it, and I've got my felt tip marker, and I'm just going to mark this. That'll tell me how far I got to push that on. You with me? Okay, now the tricky part is to get this on, and you just have to kind of hold it just right, and now I can walk it on there. See? Like that. Right to my line. Right there. And I can lift this one up like this and put it on there and walk it on there. Back and forth I go. Back and forth, back and forth. And I want to get it all the way there, like that. There you go. There. Okay. Fixed. That's all I got to do. And for the sake of argument, I'm turning the water back on. And we're going to let it run a little bit and make sure that I've got it fixed. We can take a look at that 1/4 inch tubing over there and see how much it's dripping. I don't think I need to do anything with that. If that was dripping a whole lot, guess what I could do? I could take that out. I could cut the line right there, leaving about 3/4 of an inch away from the other piece that I just fixed a few days ago. And I could put another coupling in there, one of those compression couplings that I just put in, and then I could add, or I could move that bubbler over. You know, take my little special tool, pop it in there, and then put that coupling in somewhere else. I could fix it that way too. I don't think it's going to be dripping enough. Let's decide that together after I turn this water back on, and we'll check for leaks. Okay, I've got the water back on, and just to prove to you the water is on, let's go over here. Here's a bubbler. See that? That's a 2-gallon bubbler. It's just going out to nowhere. I'm going to have to cap that off or do something with that later. I know the system is on, and I'm looking under here. Let's take a close look at the repair I just did. You see there? Look at that. Look at that. It's not even dripping. That's how those compression fittings work. And see over there, that other one is not leaking. And see where the 1/4 inch line is coming off of there? It's not even really dripping into the little puddle down below, is it? So when I backfill the dirt, I just have to be careful around there. And for drip irrigation, I don't care whose house I go to, I can always find something going on with the drip irrigation. A leak somewhere, or one that goes to nowhere, or something that needs to be relocated or added. And it's just inevitable. And especially when you have a property that's over 20 years old. This mother's house is about 24 years old. Here's that praying mantis I saw earlier. You see him right there? Look at him. He's staring you in the eyeballs. And, oh no, he's not. He's looking, oh, there he goes. There he goes. See, there he goes. This property's about 24 years old, so you're bound to have things happen. And lots of times what happens is the drip, these older pipes, they snap off. They snap off here. If somebody walks on it, or you know, when your gardeners are trimming with their electric razor cutters, and if you've got a pipe coming up like this one, and if it's not pushed in a little bit, they could run their cutter in there and snap that right off. So I've got to be mindful of that, don't I? When I rearrange this, I'm going to have to dig the dirt just a little bit and depress that into the dirt, and then take that line, maybe relocate it so it's going underneath the bark a little bit, because I don't want it sticking up like how I got it. See, I'm going to have to relocate that a little bit. I can pull that out because that was the one I installed before. I got to put a new bubbler on that, a 2-gallon instead of the 1 gallon that I had. Okay, because I thought that other one that I just jerked out of there, that was connected to that got snapped off, I thought that was still running, but it's not. Okay, so because this bush is pretty big, I'm going to put a 2-gallon bubbler on there. But see, if I leave that line like that, when they run their shaver thing through there, chances are that is going to be chopped off again. I'm going to have another leak there later on down the road. Okay, so I'll relocate that and run it in there, and then pooch it out up further underneath the bush. That's what you got to do, because I noticed that's how that other one got chopped off too. And see, here's another coupler that I just replaced, and I ran a separate video of it on this one. No leaks on that. And do you hear something here? I'm hearing another leak somewhere. I can hear it. It's in here somewhere. And I'll bet you another one is snapped off. I don't know where it's coming from, but there's another pipe. Not this one, but it's connected. It's connected to that. And let's just hear. Let's just listen. That is funny. Now it sounds like it's over there. Oh, jeez. Sounds like it might be up here. Oh, it's right in here. Isn't that something? Right in here. There's another leak, and it almost sounds like, I think there's one over there too. I think I'm hearing two. One over there and one over here. I'm going to get my gloves on and kind of dig out here where this one is. It's not very low underneath the bark, is it? I didn't really have to dig anything out except clean up where the bark was. And this is probably have sprung a leak, same type of thing like this again. I'm going to get my gloves on, and the sprinkler's going to shut off here pretty quick, so I'm going to reset them and see if I can't find it. You want to watch that? Stick around.